Welcome to another Saturday edition of Rick Helps Real Estate's live stream. You never know what time I'm going to get on Saturday because I never know when I'm going to be home. Out showing homes earlier and heading out to show a couple more right after I'm done with this, but I wanted to give you an update. Yesterday I said we would most likely hit 7,000 listings, and we were at 7,020 this morning. Way to go. That matches December 2005. And what we see here is on the 7-day moving average, 4,033 homes come on the market with 3,735 go under contract. That's a difference of almost 300. Price reductions are up to $1,670 versus an average of about $1,350. So the people that are shooting for the moon and listing their homes are finding out that's not working. This in no way is indicating that the market is slowing. What we're seeing is right here with the 7-day moving average that ever so slowly we just have more people putting their homes on the market, because this red line here shows buyer activity, which is pretty similar to June. And we dipped on the 4th of July. We came up a little bit, but the number of listings has consistently hit above that line. And so we're seeing more people that are recognizing that it's a good time to sell and it's a safe time to sell. And a lot of people are trying to get their homes sold before their kids go back to school. But guess what? In Arizona, they're starting right now. So maybe a lot of people are selling their homes in Arizona to get ready to go to another state. But for whatever reason, we are starting to see more and more listings come on. And we are running about 2,000 units ahead of about 6 weeks ago. That's a pretty good jump. And it's been going along consistently that we can now say that it's a trend, because 2 weeks doesn't make a trend. But when we look at what's happening nationally and we see what's going on in Arizona, it's definitely a trend. Now, buyer activity has backed off, and the buyers are telling us that they're just tired of being outbid. The affordability argument can be, you can kick that around till the cows come home. But, I saw one video this morning where the guy did a comparison back in the 70s to now on payments and income. And he determined that actually we don't have an affordability problem. We just have a outbid problem. So a lot of the buyers are backing off because they don't want to dig up extra cash to try and do that appraisal gap spend, and I don't blame you. So I'd sit this out and wait it too. I'd be okay if the house price went up $15,000 if I didn't have to kick in $20K for appraisal gap payment. That's just my feeling. So, and I think a lot of you buyers are out there thinking the same way. So we have a question already here running at altitude. We are starting to see an increase in listings in our market. Just found 5 properties in a neighborhood active with listing days between 7 and 21 days. Looks like things are starting to cool. Yes, the number of days on market is going up. I'm seeing a lot of 7 to 15 days, and I'm seeing that buyers don't feel the urgency right now to hurry up and grab that thing today. They're kind of waiting, doing a little more shopping, and that's a healthy market. That's the way to do it. The trend is the way it's going. If we continue on this trajectory, we could have a balanced market by November. But folks, there's a lot of things that could change. I put a link in the section below from a bond trader. It's actually quite the chart guy. His name's Stephen Van Meter, and he tells a very compelling argument on how rates could get down to 1%. And think of that. Think what that would do to the market. Think of the wave of refinancing you would see. And that's not good for real estate prices, but you don't have to watch the whole thing. Go into about minute 13. I put the link below. Scroll up to minute 13 where he says, okay, now let me show you the argument of how we could end up at a 1% mortgage. Here's where we're at, but the Cromford report has not updated this week. It's showing us at 6107. We're at 7,000 right now. The last time we were at 7,000 was back in December 12th, 65.79, so December 5th, 70.50. We tied it. So we're right there, but we're trending higher, and we could end up at about 11,000 if we continue at this current rate, but it all has to do with absorption. So it's anybody's guess. Running at altitude, wow, 1%. Tick, tick, tick. It's going to be slow. Who was it that said yesterday, things are moving really fast around me, said the tortoise. It's going so slow that statistically it's not showing up as an alarming number, but you're starting to hear more and more people in the market talk about it. And that's usually delayed. Some of the numbers that we're seeing right now are May and June. So what you're seeing on the national scale. So, you know, Kurt Schiller numbers are going to come out, and that's going to be May and June. So right now we're July and we're almost August, and we're seeing something that's really changed in the past 2 weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see how long this hangs in there. Is it a shopping opportunity for you? Depends on the price point. If you're in the 400,000 to 500,000 range, no, I still think you're going to run into some bidding wars. If you're down in the 3 to 350, that's still a knockdown drag out. That one is going to take an inventory number of about 11,000 units or higher before that slows down and that shakes out. The growth projections are really starting to show up around the West Valley, where you see all those huge warehouses being built on the 303. So there's a lot of pricing pressure going on out there, especially in Surprise. Kind of hard to find something for 350. 400 is pretty common, but I don't expect that to exit the bidding wars until about November. And the bidding wars, instead of looking at 10 offers, you may only be looking at 3, maybe 4. In November, we could be a lot more balanced. I still am going to stick to my guns that if we're continuing on this trend right now, that I think the appraisal waivers are going to go bye-bye by September. So let me know in the comments section what you think is going to happen. How permanent do you think this increase in listings is? And when do you think these bidding wars, and particularly the appraisal waivers, will disappear? I'm going to stick my neck out and say September. Let me know what you think, because we're going to have to get above that 10,000 mark. So K1KCH, I'm seeing a mix of homes selling for list and for 30, 50 more. You know, I look, if I pull up a neighborhood and I pull up a price point and I see the statistics that show that they're, 58% of them are going over list price. And then we see that, and I'll show you the chart here. And then we see that the average price is getting outbid by, here's closings over list, by about $20,000. Well, when I scroll in and I look at the actual sales, the closed sales, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing some of it, but I'm seeing opportunity. So here's what I mean. 58.7 and 3 to 400,000, 69% are going over asking. They're going over asking by 18,050. Just yesterday, that number was 19,000. Interesting. And KCH, I'm looking in the East Valley, 600,000 to 700,000, still not seeing much. I think it's going to take some time. It's only been a couple of weeks for these numbers to change, but I'm showing a couple this afternoon in that price range, actually a little bit higher. But I can still show you, and I can still pull up homes that if I look at, let's see, let's do a quick search here on closed listings. Okay, so bear with me here. These things don't change real quick, and I got to pick up and just say the last month. And I'm going to say 1, and let's pick a zip code. Let's do Gilbert, because they're the ones where the CMI has really been going down. So we'll find Gilbert, 85024. We look at the list, and they've had in the past 30 days, we're seeing 446 homes. So let's just randomly pick a single family here. Here's one, 345 on Red Oak Lane, and their list was 350, sold for 345. Interesting, huh? They're still out there. Here's one on Juniper. What's it say? Now, it's only one picture. That kills me. I'm not even going to give them the courtesy of looking at that. 362. Take good photos, people. 362. Let's see. This one was listed at 360, sold for 362. Not a lot of pricing pressure there. And we're going to go down a little bit further. Here's another one up in 385. And I'm looking. 400 sold for 385. What's that tell you, folks? I think it tells you that there are homes available in certain price ranges without way overbidding. They probably had to swing the bat about 10 times, but they eventually got the home. Now, those photos don't tell us everything. There may have been things that come up in the inspection, that, like a roof issue or something, where they negotiated to lower the price again. But getting back out there now, I think you may be able to find something you want. But the message is very clear that if you're thinking of selling, it's 7,000 units on the market and it's climbed by 2,000 the past 2 months. Pull the trigger now, because you'll be very happy with the house, with the price you get and the ease of which you can close. We don't know a couple months out what the situation's going to be. Am I seeing a crash? No. Am I seeing a slowdown? Yes. If rates drop again, are we going to see another influx of buyers? Possible, but I don't know. So stay tuned. We track these numbers at 8:30 every Monday, and occasionally I pop in on a Saturday. Have a great weekend, folks.